sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I know I've been very bad lately. I need to apologize to everybody. Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint, just everybody. Between my health issues, being sick, wife being sick, getting me sick again, back and forth, and I've been doing the woodworking, as I told everybody. I've actually been getting some orders, and I kind of got a little backed up, so a couple times I was working late, and it interfered with the show. So I need to apologize to everybody. I'm sorry. And I know Sackhead Sean and everybody understand and is supportive, but it's still, I need to apologize to everybody. And with that, enough of the mushy. Enough of the mushy stuff. All right? Oh my God, is everything totally crazy out there or what? Has the world gone mad? I mean, holy shit. I mean, I got to check the news right now, because last I knew, the deal, a 2-year deal, would, for the funding of the government, hit a snag, and it was because of Rand Paul. I understand Rand Paul's concerns. I understand all the reasonings behind it. But I don't know. Come on. I just want to get the budget passed and get going. It's been a fight so long. I mean, it's almost tiresome. I don't know. Sorry, I forgot to put some rings on. And I got a new ring, which I can't fit into my wedding ring anymore. I'd gotten too fat. So I had ordered this one. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. It's got that red through the middle. It's a thing for firefighters. Well, I spent a large portion of my life as a firefighter, so I'm very proud of it. So I thought I'd put that on as my wedding ring. Gotta move rings around now. I don't always wear the rings, because usually once I get done with the show nowadays, I go right to the garage and right back to work. I was doing majority, I've done a couple custom canes and walking sticks. I'm working on a custom walking stick right now. Well, actually for my mother, so it's really, I'm putting a lot of thought into it. With that, I've been on the lathe, and I'm trying to really learn how to use it, how the tools work. I've never lathed anything, I guess that's the correct term, in my life before. A buddy of mine was a machinist, but that's metal, and that's a little bit different. But, I mean, some of the principles are the same, and I'd hang out at his work as being an unemployed asshole in my youth. I'd go hang out with him. I'd sweep up a little bit with bullshit, and his car was in there, so we'd work on his car for a little bit. But I would watch him do some machining. All right. So I've been putzing around with that, making some candlestick holders. And it's funny, I'm using wood from a tree that was cut down 3 months ago. Yeah, I know. I didn't let it sit the full year. I know that. There's a reason behind it. And as I've been carving these, candle holders, right afterwards you start getting this cracking going through it. And I've been using a stain. It gives it this antique look. I didn't purposely do it. A lot of the stuff I do is all by accident, and it gives this down-home, homemade look, or it'll give this old world craftsmanship. And that's when, and they're cracking, and it's giving that, cool. And it's like, one of my neighbors, who I call a good friend, he's helped me out tremendously over the years with the AC. He understands the situation, and he's given up a lot of his time free to work on my AC. And as he put it, that's what the world used to be like. Neighbors helping neighbors and not nickel and diming each other. Just out there helping each other. Well, you do this, so all right, I know AC, but I need to. So he came to me, and his backs, he messed up between being AC. He's ex-Air Force. And on his job recently, he got in a car accident. Someone decided to go into his lane when he was occupying that space. So he's like and I know exactly what he was talking about. His back, after a certain amount of time of work, will start to bother him. Or if he wants to go for a walk. So he asked me to build him a cane, which I did. And I did a really special one. Something that's, you could see it gets him in the heart. Because it was something I really built specifically to him that'll never be done again. But, I'm sure you can have someone go out, start doing measurements. Oh, I could do that. And it's the Air Force emblem on the front and all that. Well, he goes walking by, and he'll stop in. What are you doing today? Oh, what are you making on the lathe? I don't know. He just looks at me. And it's basically that. I know it sounds stupid. I just let the wood and tools take me where it's going. And next thing I know, I'm looking. I get to see something in it, and boom. I got something made. And that's what he said. He loves coming over, stopping by to see what I created. And he said, especially when it comes to mixing and matching of the woods. He goes, you got an eye for that. Listen, I am not a master craftsman. I'm not trying to say that. But I just do get working and see what comes out. That's all. I mean, it's wood. If it's not right, you start over again. And one of the things, I was out in the garage right before the show, because I actually fell asleep today. I was getting ready to actually get dressed to go out the door to pick my daughter up. And my wife calls. She goes, the phones are dead today. They're sending us home again. Cool. You're going right past our daughter's school. Yep. I got her. So I go in the bedroom. I lay down in the bed. I click the TV on. Next thing I know, my wife comes in and goes, you going to get up? And I look, it's 4:30. Fuck. Like, why didn't you wake me up earlier? She knew I wasn't feeling great the last couple of days. So I went out in the garage. And it was supposed to be in today. Supposed to be. Big word. The mandrel for doing my wood pens. Well, it got delayed to tomorrow, so I was getting all the blanks ready that I have ready. And I'll start doing those tomorrow. When the piece comes in, probably after the show. Because my guy doesn't get here, UPS guy, until 6, 7 o'clock if he's not running behind. And I'm not knocking him. Just if he's not running behind, about that's when he gets here. So, I'll be working on some... That site hasn't updated. It said it's still supposed to be delivered today. Yeah, it got pushed back to tomorrow. Yeah, I didn't leave Jacksonville, Florida at 4:15 p.m. today. It'll be delivered by tomorrow. So I'll get the show done, and then I'll go out there. And another thing, my wife's had me looking up, we have what's called the Big Top Flea Market. It's a very, very well-known flea market. Getting a booth there. For that, I got to have a bunch of stuff to take with me, so it's just been fun. So what that also means, and I'm looking at it right now, actually. LLCs. I had one and I let it go, so I'm looking at getting it back. Let's see where it takes me. So yeah, our government is, what the hell? Oh, ooh. Now this is weird. Goods subject to excise tax include items such as fuel, tires, and fishing equipment. What? That's really weird. Oh, and the other thing that I'm going to do, probably this weekend if I can get the wood. Brain fart. Mallard duck. I'm going to try doing a big wood. Not carving, because there's going to be no carving. It's all going to be, sanders and just cutting out the right angles. But that's coming up soon. Actually, that's not going to be this weekend. I forgot. I need to get a bandsaw for that. I could do it without, but it'd be such a pain in the ass. It'd be easier with the bandsaw. Oh. I don't know. Oh, they try to get you a nickel and dime on this site. Holy shit. That's the thing I gotta learn is when to file all this crap. What do I have to file? Last thing I gotta do is a logo. I have some ideas. I gotta get a hold of my buddy. See, I hate to, because the only time I really need time we talk anymore is. Is when I'm talking logos for the show and so forth, and that's the LLC I'm going to do. It's not just for the wood. I mean, I'm going to be doing. Hey BZ, how are you doing tonight? But I'm going to be doing lawn services summer. The woodworking, especially canes, if one of them breaks on somebody, or even a walking stick breaks. And it'll also cover for the show, so dealing with all that. I know somebody, it's getting a hold of them lately. I've had trouble. And yes, I got the new promo pack, actually. And I actually have it set up for the first break already. I don't have some of the stuff, all the editing done onto it. I just threw it in there today. And I'm going to repeat it because I said it earlier. I don't know if I did. I need to apologize to you guys. I haven't been around between being sick, wife being sick, and some of the work that I've been doing in the garage has backed up a little bit. So I had to get some, paying jobs out the door. So I had to, balance between do I do the show or be late getting these out. So I do apologize about that. I really do. Once I talk to John, once I get a hold of him, I'll ask him. I'll tell him there's other people that need it done. He's great with it. He owns his own printing company, I think in California. I don't know. But I've been getting so off topic from this shutdown. No, he's actually done the work for me just on the side. He's never charged me a dime. Okay, here you go. Have you seen the original Reaver of Common Sense logo? I'm trying to think how to explain it. The one with the skull. Oh, where is it? Brain fart, brain fart, brain fart. Oh, where did it go? Yeah, it's got the skull with the wings out the side. You know, the little red splatter. It says Reaver on top of Common Sense on bottom. He created that for me out of nowhere. He just asked me, my likes and everything. I said the Gothic, I'm into that. And gave him the name of the show, and he came up with all of that and put it together. Yep, that one right there. He created that from nothing. If that tells you his work. Oh, man, it's... I don't know, but it is damn good. I was impressed when he gave it to me. Because he might be real busy right now. That's why he hasn't answered me. I had the idea for my logo. I just got to figure out how to put it together. I want to take my family crest and then have, just Antrobus woodworking underneath, Antrobus on top, arc, and then woodworking underneath in a reverse arc. Brain fart. But as I was saying, getting ready to tomorrow night. I start my pen lathing, making wood pens. I said that to my mom. She's like, "Who would buy those? They're only good for one time." I'm like, "No, Mom. There's an insert that comes in and out." Oh, man, it is. Let's see. I got to get back. Well, it's my show. I can talk about anything. But last I heard, the deal has hit a major snag. Rand Paul doesn't like the spending hikes. Okay, busy. Once I get a couple done, and I'll send you an email, a picture, and pick one. And I was going to mail one out to Sackhead Sean. Anyway, I'll put one in for your wife. I'm doing one for my dad and everything. I'm doing a couple free ones to get out there. So, if she just, hey, anybody likes it, wants to get one, just send the business back my way, through you, and we'll work something out. I got PayPal, so if somebody wants to buy one, not your wife should get one free. There's ways of handling the money without you dealing with it. But, yeah, I can get you that. Yeah, but it's actually bribery because looks like I really screwed the pooch on YouTube. Looks like I really pissed off YouTube. And I still don't know how because it had nothing to do with C-SPAN. Oh. I don't know. Damn, first break's coming up in a minute. Not even a minute. Yeah, I feel really, really bad. So we're only on Facebook with the live stream right now. YouTube's still throwing a hissy fit. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully Sean can straighten it out from where I screwed it up. But, hey, we're going to go to break right now. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Place Market Radio.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey guys, this is Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Check us out every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network.
And this is Sackhead Clint, as the best-looking one of the bunch. It's my duty to remind you to check us out on our YouTube channel.
And don't forget to check us out on the SHR Media Facebook page. The best-looking one? Really? You going to go there?
Well,
Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific, right here on the
listener's
SHR
Voter's Choice.
Media
I have the award right here.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever,
because truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show.
And Sackheads BZ.
Wait, I'm Sean.
No, I'm Sean.
All right, listen, we'll figure this out every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, right here on the...
Where the hell is Clint?
On the SHR Media Network, www.shrmedia.com. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube. Now, right back to this amazing show right here on the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I love that new promo. Thank you. Time to jive. Time to make the donuts. All right, I'll see you in a little bit, BZ. Yeah, BZ's got to go. He's got to get to the studio because he is on tonight. And approximately an hour and a half. Oh, so, I'm trying to think of names. I think I might just use my last name as the company name. Just that. Boom. Simple. Because here in Florida, you could have an LLC, and then underneath your LLC, you can break your companies off into different names. So I can have landscaping doing one, the radio another, and the woodworking another. But they all fall underneath. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so I haven't seen any update on... let me take a look again before I say those words. White House alerts agencies to prepare for a government shutdown. What might hurt is it's not the Democrats that are fighting this. It's a Republican. I don't know. I don't know. I'm split. I understand Rand Paul's arguments with it, but at the other time, I'd just like to see a goddamn budget go through. Well, we're not every goddamn month on the edge of the cliff. Oh, Maxine Waters has said Pelosi's filibuster the other day where she spoke for 8 hours was the most profound in history of Congress. Maxine Waters. No, you're than a fruitcake. Oh, man. Now, what am I doing? Total brain fart again. Whew. Having a lot of brain farts. Yeah, Rand Paul's still holding things up. Ooh, what's this? You know, this whole Russia thing actually is getting pretty good because it's starting to find out Democrats were more in bed with Russia than anybody else. Democratic Senator Mark Warren texted with Russian oligarch lobbyists in effort to contact dossier author Christopher Steele. The top Democrat on the Senate Intel Committee, who has been leading a congressional investigation into President Trump's alleged ties to Russia, had extensive contact last year with a lobbyist for a Russian oligarch who was offering Warren access to former British spy and dossier author Christopher Steele, according to text messages obtained by Fox News. Quote, "We have so much to discuss, you need to be careful, but we can help our country," Warner texted to the lobbyist. Adam Waldman on March 22nd, 2017. I'm in. Waldman, whose firm has ties to Hillary Clinton, texts back to Warren. Steele famously put together, that bullshit dossier that's 100% crap. Now, the Democrats are finding themselves in deep shit lately. Of course, they'll wiggle out smelling like roses somehow. But if the Republicans keep pushing and Attorney General Sessions does his fucking job, looks like some of these Democrats might be running for the hills, not Trump. And it's really, every time I read a new article, it's the Democrats that were in bed with Russia, not Trump. Hillary Clinton was in bed with Russia for a long time. She was in bed paying off Russian actors to write a dossier, this bullshit dossier. FBI knew about it, was involved with the Russians on it. You have multiple other Democrats that were in touch. You have the Uranium One deal, and more, there is a, I don't know what you want to call them. I don't know if I have the article today. I saw it yesterday, I think. A whistleblower, I guess, is the best word right now to use. that is providing information that Russia was bribing Hillary through Clinton Foundation with millions of dollars and is willing to testify. Oh, man, it's getting deep. So, now he's doing this. He's contacting this person while he's sitting on this intelligence committee. And throughout the text exchange, Warner seems particularly intent on connecting directly with Steele without anyone else on the Senate Intel Committee being in the loop, at least initially. In one text to the lobbyist, Warner wrote that he would rather not have a paper trail of messages. No paper trail of messages. Why? Why wouldn't he want paper trail of messages? Because he was doing something that was not legal. Trying to read this text. It's in a really weird. All right. Text from Christina for call later today. That worked. That was on February 14th. February 14th, 7:30 p.m. Incoming call. Outgoing call. Again, incoming call at 7:45. The text, Mark, I want to let you know that everyone I have spoken with in USG about this matter, each of whom I have also been entirely transparent with about my motives in trying to assist, has assured me that they understand and even appreciate my efforts. Perhaps that's wrong, but I wanted to pass along to you. I told Assange, just as I told the USG, that I would end this pro bono role if I found that the objective, safe passage to discuss with USG, the past and future leaks, could not be achieved. There's more here. Have on February 16th, have had important call about your message. Will have answer tomorrow. February 16th at 10:57 p.m. Thank you, standing by. Just wanted to understand my opinion and the reason I got involved. This guy is going to do something catastrophic for the Dems, Obama, CIA, national security. I hope someone will consider getting him to U.S. to ameliorate the damage. Bunch of phone calls back and forth. Hey, Mark, I'm back in Washington and hope we can get together, maybe with Jack and our wives. Please let me know whatever suits you. BB is also treating a small number of people. If you want in on that, I can arrange. Posting a WikiLeaks website. Want to connect? Think there may be more to come. There is more to come. Just tell me where and when. This was on March 8th. Mark, your office scheduled dinner for 18th. If you want to meet sooner, too glad to do it. And if you want to see BB, I will arrange it. DOJ called me. This is March 9, 2017 at 3:49. DOJ called me today. We will talk at 5:30. At 9:30, talk to me. The next day at 6:43 a.m. on March 10th. Want to speak today? Sorry to have missed you. We'll try over the weekend. That was on March 10th. All right, March 11th. P.S. On the questions discussed, they already are aware. I've had lots of other dealings with DOJ relating to my Russian client. Okay, great. Mark, please call me when you have a moment. Important but not urgent. Can't call now. Can you text? Chris Steele asked me to call you. We'll call tomorrow. Be careful. We'll call in around an hour. Sounds good. Now, Dee, this is still March 17th. I tried you just now. I'm going to call in 5. You know, just a bunch of mix back and forth. Now, this is March 20th. Can you talk tomorrow? Want to get with your English friend? March 21st. Hey, Mark, I'm up and about in Deutschland. Call me whenever you are, too. I spoke with him yesterday. You're still my favorite senator. When are you free? Sorry, these days are wild. I understand I'm up in Europe, so try me from whenever you're up and available. A bunch of phone calls, unanswered, outgoing call. Hey, Mark, we got cut off, and you probably got on to your next thing. Call me whenever you want to pick it up. He's got to do a speech, really wants to finish. We have so much to discuss. You need to be careful, but we can help our country. I'm in. Need to coordinate date for trip. Can you talk with my scheduler? Also want to... I need to coordinate date trip. Can you talk with my schedule? Also want to discuss Paul. Sure, just ask scheduler to call on... They redacted the phone number. And please call me re-PM whenever you are up. Just a bunch of back and forth again. Sorry, I'm reading this as, you know, the show's going on. And hey, Mark, having quick dinner with client. I left message for Andrea that still wants to have letter first. Okay, but I would like to do prelim call you, me, and him. No one else before letter. Just so we have to trail to start. Want to discuss scope first before letter. No leaks. Yesterday's press may have run him off. I just spoke with him, and he's huddled with lawyers now and would tell me his position later in the day. We want to do this right private in London. Don't want to send a letter yet because if we can't get agreement, would rather not have paper trail. That makes sense. Glad to keep trying to intermediate and see if I can convince him to speak with you directly. At the moment, he's spooked. No pun intended. Keep me informed. Also, any news from your other guy on Manafort? My other guy, like Steele, very mistrustful of USG. He's been essentially shut out of the country and dragged through the mud. I explored this question with him last night in person. Update re the other guy. My contact at DOJ has gone silent for 72 hours. I gave him what he asked for and now don't hear from him. Please let me know if you hear anything. We'll keep trying until I sense there is no appetite on either side for resolution. Interesting, I just heard from DOJ that they received and are considering. Now, this is the Russian guy saying he received from DOJ. Any word on Steele? Yes, seems to have cold feet from the leaks. Said he wanted a bipartisan letter followed by written questions. Morning, Mark. People I know at WSJ just called me and said they heard from Senate Intel Committee that the committee and Steele are speaking through an intermediary, and they also wanted to ask if I was intermediary. If the intermediary was me. Don't know how they would get that. Some comment. I said I don't know anything about it. When is meant for testifying, that could have some bearing on other opportunities. All right, Steele would like to get a bipartisan letter from the committee. Assange, I convinced him to make serious and important concessions, and am discussing those with DOJ. Somebody else willing to testify to Congress, but interested in state of play with Manafort. I will be with him next Tuesday for a week. I'm bringing Ben Stiller for a day of Hill and administration meetings on refugee issues in May. Would you like me to bring him by your office? Sure. Let me just skim through them. A lot of phone calls and you up. I spoke with Steele. He reported the same position, which is that he wants to be helpful but is fearful of the cost, time, suck, and reputation. He asked me what your concern was about a letter first, and I explained, but he would still like as a first protective step from you and Burr asking him and his partner to assist with the investigation by answering questions. He said he will also speak with Dan Jones, whom he says is talking to you. I pointed out there is no privilege in that discussion, although Dan is good and very trustworthy guy. I encouraged him again to engage with you for the sake of the trust, truth, and vindication of the dossier. Please call any times with additional thoughts you want me to communicate. Perhaps a compromise that just occurred to me would be to ask and get answered by him through me orally and only between the three of us what you want to know up front to give you certainty you are looking for in a pre-letter. Seems very weird that he won't do a call. What would a letter do to deal with his concerns? Or maybe I will just call direct. This is the underhanded belly of our government. Oh, it's just, so much fun. See what else there is real quick. We only got one more page. Hey, Mark, please let me know if you want to discuss. My Russian client asked me to engage in a specific way with investigation. We received a letter from counsel of the House Intel Committee. I assume you want me to deal with you rather than him, but let me know. Glad to meet you in person too, but I leave Tuesday. Warmest, Adam. And that's it. It just seems a lot of weirdness. I keep hearing Democrats popping up with the connection to Russia. Hey, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and I will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk. The Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it again.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be B-roll.
Like, what are you talking about? The last question really cut a couple seconds. Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right. Oh, God.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense. All right, where are we at? Yeah, I'm so lost. Oh, I was going over. Holy shit. I'm looking at this shit and trying to do business in Florida is great, but it also can be confusing. All the damn paperwork. Paperwork. Ah! All right, the budget agreement today is so important that our great military is. There was a pretty big $300 billion for the military. But it also prevented the shutdown of the government. It increased some spending here, but I don't know. Oh, my God. Some people are just... you got... All right, if it gets passed in the Senate, it's got to go back to the House. But Democrats like Pelosi are pushing for the bill to include provisions for Dreamers, immigrants brought illegally to the United States. Such protections are about to expire in early March, a result of President Trump ending the Obama-era Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival, or DACA. And there's also a question whether he can extend it or not. He shouldn't. Illinois' Democrat Representative Luis Gutierrez, he's out there doing his crazy shit. He said he also won't support the bill and predicted other Democrats would also vote no. They don't really care about the House because the Republicans have control, supermajority. Pelosi's just absolutely batshit crazy. She called illegal immigrants great citizens of the United States. They're not citizens. They're not great. They broke. I don't care how they got here. They're here illegally. Let's see. All right. Washington Post met twice with hoax dossier author Christopher Steele. My mic stand's giving me a fight and a half. During the 2016 election. This guy, he's getting hammered from everything. And he deserves it. He stepped into a landmine, whether he knew it or not. That's what he did. And he stepped into it hard. It kind of makes me laugh because he's deserving everything that he gets. But the Washington Post, for the first time, detailed 2 meetings the newspaper reported it held with former British spy Christopher Steele, the author of the infamous, largely discredited 35-page anti-Trump dossier. At least one of the meetings was also attended by Glenn R. Simpson, co-founder of the controversial opposition research firm Fusion GPS. The meetings took place in September and October of 2016. The Post wrote that it made efforts to independently confirm Steele's information at the time, but was unable to corroborate his specific findings and did not publish stories based on the material. The first meeting was held in the Post D.C. headquarters in late September 2016 in the run-up to the presidential election less than 2 months later. The Post related, as Steele sat down in a 17th floor conference room at the Post downtown Washington headquarters in late September 2016, he looked out at the bustling newsroom with obvious discomfort. "Don't you have any meeting space without glass walls?" the longtime intelligence officer asked. On that September day, Steele talked for about 2 hours, occasionally interrupted by Simpson, who was in attendance. The Post reported it held a second session with Steele in October of 2016 and agreed to keep the meeting off the record. The Post agreed to keep the session off the record because of the sensitivity of the material, but is now reporting the existence of the visit and a subsequent one in October, although not what was discussed, because they have been referenced in court documents. So how we know about a lot of this is because court. If Hillary would have won, all this backyard shenanigans and colluding with Russia would have never came to light. And you know what? If they did not go after Trump saying he colluded with Russia, none of this would be happening. All this would not have come about. The only reason this information is coming out is because they have tried that Russia-Trump collusion, which has backfired on them. And if you go through my shows, when they announced those investigations, I said it's going to backfire on them. And it is. And it's doing more damage than I think anybody realizes. I don't think they realized it. It makes me laugh. Listen, it's that time again. I got a Money Talks Minute with Melanie. I'm going to play that, and we're going to head to break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk Minute. I'm your business diva, Melanie Collette. This week, we talk how to shop smart. Here are 3 tips. First, evaluate purchases by cost per use. When deciding if the latest purchase is worth it, factor in how many times will you actually use it or actually wear it. Ask yourself, how much will this cost per hour of use? Is it really worth it? Second, spend money on experiences instead of things. Research shows that putting money toward that concert will make you much happier than purchasing that high-priced purse or tech gadget. Third, make sure you shop alone. It's so much fun to shop with friends, particularly for us ladies, but your best friend is the first one to tell you how cute that outfit is on you and that you should definitely buy it even if you can't afford it. Save the socializing for later and shop by yourself. Those are your 3 tips for how to shop smart, and that's all for this week's Money Talk Minute. I'm your business diva, Melanie Collette. Remember to listen to Money Talk with Melanie Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk. The Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be B-roll.
Like, what are you talking about? Just the last question really cut a couple seconds. Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense here on the SHR Media Network. Hey, Sean, you ever see a one-eared elephant?
No.
Check this out.
Oh, that's so tiny.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, boy, it is crazy out there. Could you imagine if Hillary actually won? They would have got away with this, and they would have done it again and again and again. She would have used it to stay in power. And Democrats would be using it left, right, and center. They weaponized. Under Obama, he weaponized multiple agencies. He weaponized IRS. Now he weaponized DOJ and FBI. What else did he? BLM. Well, what is it? Bureau of Land Management. He weaponized them. He really did a number to our government. I don't know. I just don't know. It is a scary time. And I keep saying that. I know I do, but it is. And not because of Trump, but because of what the previous administration and their party did. It's funny. Dinesh D'Souza put out a tweet. And he said the Democrats of the 60s fought against a police state. You know, they said there's a police state going on. Well, they are the Democrats now, and they are the police state. They have created that. And how they combat it, they keep pointing their fingers at everybody else. When they're the ones that created a police state. And their fucking followers are too stupid to see it. Because MSNBC and CNN doesn't tell them about it. Listen, I'm not out there praising Fox, you know. Do your own searches. Go off the liberal sites. Go looking around to different areas. Start reading stuff that goes against your ideology. And maybe think that you're being complicit. You know? They accuse us that this is how Hitler started because we blindly follow Trump. No, we don't. We don't blindly follow Trump. He happens to have a lot of our ideology, and he knows that. He's wandered from those ideologies a couple times, and the supporters let him know, and he got back in line. That's why we love him. He's doing what we want. We really have to watch what's going on out there. Again, if Hillary would have been elected, who knows where we would be right now. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted. We have a Yale researcher accidentally exposes Facebook's bias against conservative media. The Yale published study claiming to mirror Facebook's new methodology for sorting broadly trusted news sources from partisan news and inadvertently undermines its author's own advocacy of the methodology by listing far-left sites Salon and Huffington Post as mainstream, while packing its hyper-partisan category with right-of-center news source. Political ran with the headline, GOP voters can trust CNN, New York Times over Breitbart and InfoWars. A more accurate headline would have been, single working paper with questionable methodology shows GOP voters trust CNN over Breitbart. But that probably would have gotten them few clicks. What the study actually shows by the author's own admission is that mainstream media sources are most likely to achieve a broadly trusted rating by surveilled subjects due to their name recognition, not due to the quality of journalism. In the study, the authors admit that if Facebook were to sort news on the basis of trustworthiness surveys, it would favor established mainstream outlets and push new media because newer, unfamiliar sources are less likely to be trusted. Given the apparent role of formality and judgment of trustworthiness, highly righteous news sources that are less well known and that are new are likely to receive low trust ratings, and thus will have difficulty gaining prominence on social media. Relatedly, it is unclear how the crowdsourcing approach will scale when trying to cover the mass number of outlets which produce new content online, many perhaps of which will be unfamiliar to most readers. Nevertheless, the author of the study, one of whom recently retweeted a post calling the Nunes memo a stunt born from right-wing fever swamp that recklessly breathes life into conspiracy theories, claims this is totally fine. In fact, they think Facebook doesn't go far enough. What's funny is the Nunes memo was given to the FBI to rate. FBI could have tore it apart and said it was all false. And the FBI, who's filled with a bunch of left-wingers right now, went, yeah, it's all true. That's what happened. Silly wabbit. It's these studies are a joke. And just to go on that it pisses me off. Anything that the Republicans say is supposed to be a right-wing conspiracy. Oh! It's almost getting bad as racist and sexist. If something's going to hurt the Democrats, that's the go-to. It doesn't work. Oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. And that's starting to go to the wayside. Because everything's a conspiracy theory. Well, a lot of those conspiracy theories, well, they're coming true. Sorry, I'm also nosing something else. It's just, oh my God. The problem, according to Rand, is that Zuckerberg has said that Facebook will only use user trust ratings for sites that they say they've heard of. In other words, if a user's answer to the first question, do you recognize this website, is no, their answer to the second question is thrown out. Rand said that broad unfamiliarity with a site can be a good signal that it's unreliable. After all, fake news is often peddled on URLs that few would have ever heard of. Such an approach would, by the author's own admission, favor established, recognized news outlets and punish news sites. That includes openly right-wing news sites like Breitbart News, but also anti-establishment voices of the left that are desperate or despised by the mainstream, like Glenn Greenwald's The Inceptor. The author also demonstrated their super sound judgment and academic objectivity in their list of mainstream and hyper-partisan news sources. The hyperpartisan list is dominated by right-of-center news outlets, as well as Heat Street, a now defunct site that was opposed to the partisan left, but not necessarily in the favor of the partisan right. Only 6 sites on the strong list, Daily Cause, U.S. Uncut, Palmer Report, New Century News, True Activist, and Daily News Bends, are unarguably of the partisan left. Meanwhile, their list of mainstream news sources include notably far-left Salon and the Huffington Post, which Andrew Breitbart praised for being openly and loudly and radically leftist in contrast to actual mainstream publications like the New York Times that attempt to hide their bias. To compile their list of hyperpartisan news sites, the authors relied on sources that are themselves partisan. One is a list from BuzzFeed News, known for its left-wing anti-Trump coverage. BuzzFeed once banned a centric vlogger from their platform for creating a quiz called "What Type of Anti-Feminist Are You?" Another fun way to discern BuzzFeed's bias is to do a search for all the times they used white male in their headlines. A second source was media professor Melissa Zemdar, who describes recent Fox News reporting as propaganda and has listed Breitbart News, The Blaze, and Independent Journal Review as fake news sites. The third and final source was an unnamed colleague of the author. The initial study also claimed that news sites listed in the hyperpartisan category have no editorial norms. In an email correspondent with Breitbart News, one of the authors, David Rand, admitted that this statement was off the mark. I guess rather than no editorial norms, what he meant was weaker editorial norms, particularly with respect to impartiality and non-political bias coverage, said Rand. Rand has published an updated version of the study, which now says hyperpartisan sites have weaker and non-existent editorial norms compared to mainstream news. This new study also adds an asterisk next to Salon.com to acknowledge that the site might, in Rand's words, reasonably considered hyper-partisan. The study's findings are based on a sample of 1,011 people with a median age of 36, 64.1% of whom were women. Then the claim that GOP voters trust CNN over Breitbart is true. I highly doubt that. I really do. But to say the sample is inherently biased against conservatives, pro-Trump politics. At the last election, female voters backed Hillary Clinton by 54% to 42%. The young median age of 36 is also a factor. In 2016, the 18 to 29 and 30 to 42 age demographic supported Clinton over Trump by wide margins. And Facebook's methodology for determining broadly trusted news sites is similar to that of this study. As its authors suggest, that it is likely to vastly inflate the trustworthiness rating of mainstream news media networks, many of which are the least trusted brands in America. A Gavis marketing poll last year found that half of Americans believe that CNN does not provide objective news and analysts, a number of which included 27.2% of Democrat respondents. Although Facebook has said they will throw out the ratings of users who say they are unfamiliar with a news source, a spokesman confirmed to Politico that the social network will still take a source's news recognition into account, although they would not reveal how. Facebook, Google, and I see it all the time. Google pops up with some news, and it's always from the left wing. Facebook, Twitter, same thing. All right. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Planet Radio, and we will be right back.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good evening. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is featured on the SHR Media Network every Tuesday and Thursday night for 2 hours at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. Whilst manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ continues to radically change the world of leftists, one diaper at a time. Stop balancing your checkbooks. Stop cleaning your fish tanks. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show is your magnet for truth, justice, obesity, a darkened studio, and late-night freedom. No United States of America freedoms were abridged in the making of this ad.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians, a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, clues to the clueless. Sackheads Sean, Sackheads Clint, and Sackheads BZ. The Sackheads Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern on shrmedia.com. Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and the High Plains Pundit Network. The best in late-night conservative talk. The Sackheads Radio Show, only on the SHR Media Network.
Go ahead, I'll say it.
Some of the best A-roll is going to be evil.
Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
The last question that you really cut a couple seconds ago.
Yeah, I'm a freaking artist. I can't just come up with this shit off the top of my head. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Good point. Exactly right.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the unpleasant blind guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
This is Sam on SHR Media. You can listen to my new show starting on Tuesdays in January. Get my perspective on national politics, a conservative's perspective on California politics, the latest in the war on terror, all of that and a lot more here on Tuesdays at SHR Media. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sam_SHR Media.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hey, this is Sackhead Clint, and I'm with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead BZ. No communists allowed on the SHR Media Network.
Damn straight, mister.
Back to the show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You're listening.
Contact is the evening.
Now back to Reaver of Common Sense with Jersey Joe.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, here to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, coming up top of the hour in about, I would say 34 minutes, will be BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by BZ himself. The speech is free, but the drinks aren't. So, what are we going to get to now? All right. Does anybody remember the Mexican judge that Trump got into it with? Well, that federal district court judge is going to preside over a case that California has brought against Donald Trump for the wall. It's the proposed border wall project in San Diego courtroom on Friday. You see, there was a little loophole that was passed by the federal government several years ago when there was talks of a border wall, and there was money appropriated for it, but never spent. It gave the federal government where they can waive environmental studies. Nobody complained about it when it was put in. Now that Trump's trying to use it, California is trying to sue Trump's administration, saying they don't have the right to that. It's California plus multiple groups challenged the Department of Homeland Security power to waive environmental laws in the construction of the border wall. He's scheduled to hear the case on Friday in his San Diego courtroom. The plaintiffs argue that the Trump administration is violating the Constitution and state laws because it is not conducting any environmental review or complying with any environmental protection laws. But the federal government, citing a 1996 immigration law, says it has the authority to waive environmental laws in order to build the wall, a top campaign promise of Trump's. Now, I love it's violating the Constitution. How is it violating the Constitution? Please, someone tell me. There was a lot of this agreed to, and states never objected to it. Now, the administration notes that there has been, but you never really heard about it, I should say. The administration notes that previous challenges to this law have been unsuccessful, saying it has been repeatedly upheld in the face of the legal challenge. Trump criticized this judge in 2016 when he was presiding over a fraud lawsuit filed against Trump University. Federal judge. All right, so I'm pretty sure he's going to agree with this lawsuit and put a stop to it. And it's going to go on up the chain. And right now, you've seen that even some of the liberal judges on the Supreme Court are getting tired of these lower courts making political decisions on the cases, not actually following the law. But this will move up the chain, and the liberals should watch it. I forget what state it was. They had a law that said you have to show why you need a handgun or a concealed carry. You had to show proof that you needed it. And that case started to go up this chain of event. And the state was actually losing the fight. And the last one they lost, next step would be the Supreme Court. And they went, nope, we're not doing it. We're going to drop our case. We'll drop this portion of the law. And they said the reason why they didn't want to go to the Supreme Court, because they knew if they lost in Supreme Court on the will carry law, I think it is, and you have to show proof. They said they knew if it went there, that would set a precedent for other states and could screw them, like New Jersey and other such states that you have to prove that you are in trouble and need a gun to carry. So they stopped because they didn't want, because they knew if it went there, it would set a nice precedent across the country. And that's what these liberals got to watch what they're doing. They're doing these cases and they're going all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court's ruling pretty much in favor of Trump. And it's setting precedent, and these judges are fucking individual states. Because in some states, they might be, okay, we don't want it. So they got to watch that. I don't went on a gun conversation over the wall. I don't know how I did that. But it's judge. I'm pretty sure, I'd bet, that he's going to rule just because he's got a bug up his ass about Trump. Where are we next? Luis Gutierrez. Democrat Representative Gutierrez says that the Democrats are colluding with Trump to deport Dreamers if they support the budget deal. Yes, that's how crazy this guy's getting. If you look at our military over these illegal aliens, you are colluding to get rid of the Dreamers by wanting to have a budget in the government. He also has said that if the Democrats back this bill, he would be leaving the Democrat Party. I have a question. Didn't he announce his retirement recently? Oh, man. Including with President Trump, the Republicans, and if they support a budget deal that does not include protection for DACA recipients. Quote, so today they're going to bring over from the Senate a proposal. They're going to lift the caps, and they're going to say, let's vote on our budget. He said on the House floor, well, I say to everybody, don't collude with this administration. Vote against the budget. Gutierrez added he sees fellow members of the House of Representatives when he sees DACA representative, and he vowed to get them that piece of paper. I know that scares the hell out of a lot of Americans, that could be, but it shouldn't, because that's the way forward, and they're going to come, and they are going to be integrated because they're going to get them the one thing they need, that piece of paper, because they're Americans. No, they're not, asshole. They're not Americans. In the sense of a U.S. citizen. They keep thinking that they're already citizens just because they walked over the line. They broke the fucking law. And they want just to ignore that. And it boggles my mind. It really does. It boggles my mind. He goes on, I hope I hear Nancy Pelosi, yes, vigorously opposing Democrats, colluding with Republicans to deport Dreamers. He said, adding that it is imperative for Democrats like Pelosi to maintain their political principles. Have they looked at the polls where even a majority of the Democrats don't want it? The country does not want to give amnesty to these people. Oh, my God. He also ripped his own party for so easily giving up the political leverage and putting their party before their principles when it comes to the immigration community. He accused Democrats of saying tomorrow when it comes to immigration issues, while Republicans say never, ever. The day before Pelosi's filibuster, Gutierrez threatened to leave the Democrat caucus if Pelosi betrayed DACA recipients in the next government funding agreement. So, CNN, this is a little flashback. CNN declared Trump was bonkers for saying that Clintons and Dems were behind the dossier. Writing for the far left, CNN back in October, Chris, brain fart. Whatever, Chris, I'll leave it at that. Cizilla or some shit like that. Declared President Trump bonkers and crazy for suggesting what turned out to be 100% true, that the Democrats and Hillary Clinton, the FBI, and the Russia were all behind what is known as the Russian dossier. Quote, "It is deeply irresponsible for a president of the United States to even flirt with this sort of conspiracy talk. The idea that the Russians, the Democrats, and the FBI co-funded a dossier designed to discredit Trump's 2016 campaign is totally bonkers." What set Chris off is his fake news spree was in October 19th, 2017, Trump tweet that said workers of firm Fusion GPS involved with the discredited and fake dossier takes the fifth. Who paid for it? Russia, the FBI, or the Dems, or all? In the months since that tweet, everything Trump suggested has been proven correct. Thanks to congressional investigators, and no thanks to a media that has worked overtime to stop these facts from coming out, we now know that 1, some of the most salacious and discredited details of the dossier came from Russian operatives. 2, Democrats and Hillary Clinton campaign paid millions of dollars for the phony dossier. 3, the FBI also funded the dossier by hiring its author, former British spy Christopher Steele, who was determined to see Trump defeated in the presidential election. Moreover, even disgraceful, former FBI Director James Comey has declared the dossier salacious and unverified, unless you want to count mundane details that do not matter in the month since October, despite billions of corporate media dollars being spent to verify the dossier. Still, nothing is verified, and what we now know is a political document paid for by Democrats to spy on their political opponent, which, to their disgrace, the FBI did. Trump's speech was dead on accurate. His tweet. Every single point in it, every word. And yet, here is CNN's left-wing Chris smearing Trump as crazy and bonkers, even though CNN had no way of knowing if this tweet was or was not accurate. The bigger issue, at least to me, is that Trump is suggesting that the dossier itself was funded by some combination of foreign power, the opposition political party, and a federal law enforcement agency. It's easy to roll your eyes at the very suggestion and dismiss that idea as just Trump being Trump. You guys always take him literally. Trump supporters will say you shouldn't. But here's the thing. President Trump is the president, which means he is held to the same standard every past president is held to. And by that standard, this tweet is crazy. The point here is that it's deeply irresponsible for a president of the United States to even flirt with this sort of conspiracy. You can love Donald Trump and still believe that the idea that the Russians, the Democrats, and the FBI co-funded a dossier designed to discredit Trump's 2016 campaign is totally bonkers. Without knowing the facts, CNN declared Trump crazy and bonkers is, of course, more evidence of the climate of hate. And the last place cable channel has been building around Trump for almost 2 years. The failing network has been working overtime to plant the idea that Trump is in a unique danger to America, or as CNN anti-Trump commentator Jay Tapper regularly puts it, Trump is un-American, unpatriotic, unmoored, and unhinged. I love how they use those words now. They say, it's a bad thing to be un-American, unpatriotic, unmoored, which it is. But during the Obama years, it was a bad thing to be patriotic. It was a bad thing to be proud to be American. It's one of the things that hurt the Democrats, and they know it. So they're trying to use those words to swing people's ideas. Everybody, I'm going to end the show a little bit early tonight. I'll be back tomorrow live at 9 o'clock. Coming up next in about 20 minutes will be BC's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Everybody have a great, great night. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.